getting sap out of maple trees. So if you notice, we have some trees over here, 9 to be exact, that have these buckets filled with sap. So this is the sap from the tree. What we did is we nailed a, oops, it's filled.
Spile.
We put a spile inside of the tree so that the liquid from the sap will seep into the bucket. We're siphoning the sap from the maple syrup tree.
Right, maple tree.
Maple tree.
One end into the bucket that's in the tree, and then
The other, I want it.
sorry.
Yo. Okay, something like that. So as soon as you siphon, the sap comes out, and some bugs come with it.
You have to strain it first to get all the bugs and impurities out, and then you boil it for, like a pot this size, you would boil for about 8 hours.
This is essentially sweet water, and we have to boil the water out of it, and then you'll only get maple syrup at the end. Okay, so what we're doing is we're siphoning the sap out of the bucket. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to go upstairs and we're going to boil the water out of it. Okay, stay tuned. So we got a jar. Yeah, it doesn't look so pleasant because there's some bugs in it, but we're going to get rid of those.
That's 4 liters.
This is 4 liters. Then we got this as well. And we got the big one right here.
Which is 20 liters?
Which is 20 liters. We're going to strain it. So we're going to put it into here, which is going to strain the sap, take out the bugs, and it's going to put it in. So watch this. Okay, so my mom's going to put that in there. Look at all the bugs.
It really looks like water at this stage, and the sweetness of the sap is very, very little.
Okay, look at all the bugs. Some of them are still alive. Ew. Okay, they like the sap just as much as we do.
So see, that's pretty clean.
Okay, that's clean. Down the maple sap to make maple syrup. One thing my mother learned the hard way is that you should never do this inside. Why shouldn't we do this inside, Mom?
Because there's so much steam that I've heard stories of it pulling the drywall off the ceilings, and it gets behind and it's really awful. So what I was recommended to do was turn on the fan always and keep your windows open as much as possible. We've been lucky, the days are getting warmer, so it's easier to keep the windows open.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the stove onto what?
High.
Onto high.
It starts to boil, I'll cover it so that the lid is covered towards the kitchen, but where the fan is, that part will be open so that there can be evaporation, but the fan will suck up most of the steam if I'm really lucky.
So we're going to wait for 8 hours now, and it's going to boil on high. So this room is going to become quite steamy. Okay, see you in 8 hours. And we're back now. Mom, how long has it been?
It's been about 8 to 10 hours since we put the pots on the stove.
Remember how much sap we had before? These were totally full, right up to the brim of sap. And now look at them. Okay. How hot is this, Mom?
So why don't we check the temperature of this once more, and maybe this one's ready to go as well. This is hot sugar, very hot sugar, so you never want to touch it. It's just about at the right temperature. It needs to come to 219 degrees centigrade, which is 103 degrees Celsius. This is the one that's the perfect temperature. You can see the viscosity of it, and it's very sweet now. So what we need to do now is we need to prepare our jars, and they need to be sterilized. If you don't sterilize your jars, then your maple syrup is going to spoil.
Okay, so let's see how we sterilize the jars. If you look in the oven, my mother's put 2, what are they called?
Mason jars
Mason jars, which are airtight.
are here.
She put the lids inside here.
Put it in boiling water, and then you turn the water down to low so that the seals don't break. but you need to keep them in hot water.
Take the cauldron and tip it into the sieve so that it gets strained. Okay, so let's.
Otherwise, you're going to get a bit of sediment on the bottom. The sediment's not going to hurt you, but it doesn't look clear. It's not that nice. This is cheesecloth. This is actually, usually cheesecloth is made out of a cloth. This is made out of a special kind of plastic. It's actually for professional cheesemakers, but the good part of this is that you can reuse it, which you can't do with regular cheesecloth. And I've got a bowl, and I've got a sieve that's non-burnable. Line it in, put the oven mitts back on.
Okay. It's really, really hot, so even though it looks very tasty to put your finger in, I wouldn't suggest doing it because it's about 109 Celsius. Okay, Mom. So she's gonna move it over the cauldron and she's gonna pour it into the sieve. Okay, look at that yummy maple syrup.
And we want to get every last drop of it if we can. Only going to have 3 liters out of that 151 liters.
So that's a lot of sap you have to collect. Let's just look at the sediment, what's left behind. Okay.
That's not bad.
Okay, and this is the leftovers. So now Mom's gonna take the sap that she strained and she's gonna put them into the jar.
Maybe I can turn this around so you can see.
Let's take a look at that. Ooh, that looks good. It's gonna be good on my pancakes.
This is sterilized as well. Okay, we'll put it on right now. There we go.
Okay.
And we'll put the second one on. There.
So we have the seal on it, and now we're gonna put the lid on and seal it tight. My mom's superwoman. She can take any kind of heat in her fingers.
I have a lot of burns to prove it. Okay, the next thing we need to do, very important, is we take them to the sink and we need to wash the outside of the jar, otherwise you're going to get ants. Can you imagine how the ants will enjoy this sweet sugar?
Okay, so the final step is pour some of our yummy maple syrup on top of our pancakes. I'll let my mother do the honors. Look at that yummy maple syrup. Okay. Homemade from our trees. All we have to do is boil it. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so I think we need a sample right now. Okay, so let's just take a tasty taste over here. One for my mama, of course. Just turn the camera. Okay. Ready?
Mmm.
And one for me. This maple syrup is much different than the store-bought one. It has a different consistency and different taste because, you know what? It's coots trees it comes from. Take another bite.
You can put your orders in.
Delish. Well, that's the process of making maple syrup, and at the end we ate the yummy maple syrup. My mom doesn't really want to make maple syrup for others because it takes a long time. How many liters to one jar again?
131 liters to 1 jar, to 1 liter.
131 liters to
1 liter.
1 liter of maple syrup. Thank you for your time and enjoy your maple syrup.